It all comes down to this. After a titanic season-long fight between Brandon Proudfoot and William Hargraves, the two contenders find themselves virtually tied on points going into tonight's final round. Will Proudfoot find the muscle to be able to keep his crown that he has held for so many seasons, or will he be forced to pass it off to the ever-quick, often a bridesmaid runner in the form of Hargraves? Well, we won't have long to wait to find out. Welcome, everyone, to the final round of Season 11 for the Bootleg Racing League's Dirt Street Stock Series, and we are here at the virtual Knoxville Speedway. My name is DJ Clark, and on behalf of VGN, my partner here in the booth, John Hine, our director, Mike Yao, as well as everyone behind the scenes at the Virtual Grim Network, we'd like to thank you for joining us here tonight. Now, John, Knoxville is a track that is well known the world over, but what can you tell us about this special circuit?
Oh, this is a great half-mile track, and it's such a special place to go to in real life. You got the Sprint Car Hall of Fame that's right over outside of Turn 2 there. Just a really neat experience to come here. The NASCAR trucks come here. Last year, Tony Stewart's SRX comes in here. Late models have a big race here. All kinds of things going on here. And for us tonight, the street stocks, this is almost like a dirt Talladega. Very much pack racing. I expect this to be very exciting here tonight, very close quarters, even though it's a bigger track.
Well, we look forward to that close quarters action. And speaking of close quarters, let's jump you over to the championship standings here that we talked about. As we said, very, very close up at the top. It is a virtual win-and-win situation here for Brandon Proudfoot and William Hargraves. There you can see it, only about 20-odd points or so separating Hargraves from Proudfoot, with Hargraves' victory last time out at Lima Land being able to give him just that narrow advantage that he needed. Billy Northcutt has locked down third place in the championship. Bobby Hayes, a very, very good fourth place there. Steven Spees holding on for fifth, with J.R. Shepard breathing down his neck, and Jason Best looking to do good as well as the season finishes out. But in terms of the race details and what we can expect for today's standings, John, it's traditional dirt racing fanfare as we get going.
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight's going to be, Hargraves comes in here. He's got the points lead. He's got a nice points lead. He just needs to get through the night and not have any trouble. Last week they were really close together, both he and Brandon Proudfoot. Brandon had issues there at Lima, and that's caused that separation. So if Hargraves has that kind of issue here tonight, boy, that's anybody's championship.
It certainly is. We watch here John Wilson, who's had a little bit of a yo-yo season over the course of this Season 11. Currently running in 8th. That's Joe Segala there directly behind him as they work their way around, working on the high lane here, which we anticipate being the preferred lane around here for the most part, John.
Yeah, and you'll have some guys that can get that bottom to work. As that cushion goes up higher and higher up the track, these cars are not exactly high-powered, so that's when the bottom will come back in, is once they get high enough on the track where that shorter distance around, even though it might be a little slicker, will still be a little quicker.
Well, and we'll have to see if that slicker and quicker way is going to be the way to go around here. Right now, it's Chris Davis making a return back into the series after a little bit of a sojourn down into the Caribbean, as we understand. So good to see the number 7 back in the mix once again. Billy Northcutt, J.R. Shepard, and William Hargraves making up your other top 4 there. You can see Hargraves out on track right now, still waiting for Brandon Proudfoot to join in, but we haven't heard anything from the reigning champion telling us that he wouldn't be here, so we expect that number 22 to take to the track here, and he's still got time, about 5 minutes left to go in practice.
Yeah, and it's not unusual to see Brandon show up at the last second either. I think he's done that a couple times this season, and then when he's done it, I believe he's won, so maybe, that could be a precursor of what's to come, who knows, but hopefully he gets in here so we have a championship battle here for the last race.
I have a feeling we will, as there's Robbie Robinson entering himself into the mix, trying out a little bit on the low line here, maybe thinking about a little bit of a slider. Got to think that with as wide of a track as this is, that slide job's going to be very effective here today.
Oh, absolutely. The key to it, too, is as that slick gets wider in the middle, it becomes a little more tricky because, when you're going across that slick parts of the track, you scrub speed. So keeping the car straight to make a slider, usually you hang the back out and try to slide up in front of somebody. But here you almost want to drive up in front of them keep the car straight and motor past to my corner exit or corner entry by going in a little bit lower, and then middle of the corner, just past the mid-corner, make sure you're in front of them.
And there's a little bit of side-by-side action, testing out some racecraft here early on between Robinson and Wilson there. There's that slider that we talked about, and you saw those front left wheels there from Robbie Robinson popping up into the air. That's one of the unique features of this Knoxville circuit, that inside berm, which can really catch you out.
Oh yeah, you hit that berm. It is not your friend. It can launch you. If you got somebody to your outside, it can launch you out to them. If you hit it qualifying, that'll take you from being maybe the top 2 or 3 guys to all the way down to the bottom. It's hard to see a lot of times, and it's real easy to hit if you're running that bottom line.
And we'll have to see if anybody runs afoul of that here tonight. Looks like Robinson unable to fully get that move done on John Wilson as they go. No changes up at the top of the running order right now. We'll keep our eyes focused here as this is a nice little battle starting to play itself out. Only about 3 minutes left to go here in practice. And that practice time, that will then be turning over to about a 5-minute qualifying session, 4 laps for the drivers to be able to put down their fastest lap. And then we'll head off into the heat racing. And that is where the fun truly starts and begins here. About a 13-person entry to be expected about this point during the season. A lot of these guys have some real-world racing commitments, and so sometimes during the summer months, we don't tend to see as high car counts as we do during the winter.
Yeah, I mean, right now, we've been locked down for 2 years too. So just even if you're not out at a racetrack, the fact that you can get out and go do stuff probably also is going to drive those numbers down. But that's okay. It'll all be here when they get back, once the winter comes back around. But nonetheless, we've had great racing all summer. This whole season, we've had almost every race has been contested right down to the last lap.
Yeah, it certainly has. We've had a couple of good green flag runs here in the last couple of races as well. Drivers really putting in some good times, being able to really run clean in green for the majority of the race. And that has been a very refreshing thing to see as you just kind of let these horses go out on track and not having to worry about starts and finishes.
Yeah, and like I said, this track is really for street stocks. It's like a Talladega-style race. Yeah, everybody can wind their cars all the way out. I think this is one of the tracks where the field's got to be closer just because of that. It creates pack racing, a lot of excitement, and the slightest mistake, though, can cost you big here because you lose that momentum. These are still momentum cars. Even though we're on a bigger track, you lose the least bit of momentum, you can fall back real fast.
Yeah, indeed you can, and we have some breaking news coming across the lines right now, hearing that Brandon Proudfoot will not be able to make today's race, which will de facto give the championship over to William Hargraves. Absolutely a huge development here, John, is not really going to have a championship battle now.
No, we're not, but that's okay. We're still going to have good racing, and there's some good battles. J.R. Shepard, I think, was right on Steven Spies' tail right there, and I don't see Steven here in the lineup either. So, yeah, there's going to be some movement for this final week in that top 5, but I can tell you that championship might be now solidified. I guarantee it. There's every one of these guys want to still win this race, and they're going to race hard to do it.
Oh, exactly. And that's one of the things, we as commentators often like to talk about the championship, really give you that storyline over the course of the season. But for so many of these drivers, it is all about the one-time glory, being able to take that win. Every single race that they come out to, they are pushing tooth and nail to try to take a victory, and the championship of it all necessarily doesn't affect the way that they approach their race.
No, and with that being pretty much solidified now, you can actually race for the win. I'm not saying somebody would start racing dirty, but you don't have to take that extra care to, not wreck the leader. You can go out, you can just go for it.
Yeah, you sure can. I didn't even think about that definitely changes the mentality of the drivers in the back. But as you can see by our overhead shot, we are ready to get going here for qualifying. As we said, 4 laps of course of about 5 minutes as they run. Driver's going to go out now, try to put a good lap time down, and we've seen some variance in the way to approach this. Guys like Billy Northcutt, William Hargraves, they tend to come out, run 1 or 2 quick laps, and then come back into the pits and let everything reset. We tend to see guys like Jeffrey Harden, Robbie Robinson, who I also see out on track right now. They have a little bit of a different approach. They try to go out and put down all 4 laps as soon as they can.
Yeah, and that's the approach I usually take. I'm a rhythm driver, so I need those laps to kind of get into a rhythm. And some guys are just they're prodigiously talented, man. They can just go out there and bust that 1 lap off and power to them. And there's no right or wrong way, I think, to doing it.
I don't think there is, as well as we watch the number 7 of Chris Davis working his way around. The first couple of drivers coming across the times. It looks like Jeffrey Harden's going to be leading the way. Chris Davis able to put in a time that is second best. John Wilson, Robbie Robinson, and Ken Nunn, your top 5 right now. Still waiting for times from some of the other contenders to get onto the board right now. Looks like Joe Segala was purple there in that first sector. Is Joe going to be able to move his way up? Yes, he is. That is a provisional pole for the 81.
That's a really good lap. I think the quick lap in practice wasn't much further than that. But look at Billy Northcutt, gets around him, puts up a 22.45 to take that pole so far.
Yeah, great run there for Billy. New paint scheme he is sporting this week. It looks like going with black and silver livery. Here's another driver that we have yet to see a time for. This is going to be J.R. Shepard in the number 98 Different Path Motorsports machine, bringing that car around. J.R. looking very, very quick. He's purple through the first sector. Not going to set the fastest second sector time, but what is that going to put him? It's going to put him on provisional pole to the tune of about 14 thousandths of a second.
Not a whole lot of separation there, but great lap by JR. The quick lap in practice was a 22.47. These guys are raising their game here as the night goes on.
Yeah, they very much are. Still waiting for times here from Hunter Hill, Brendan Myers, and Glenn Townsend. Hargraves back out, trying to get those second laps in. We'll have to see what the 71 can do. As we said, always a contender, always quick. And now it would appear to be your champion in waiting. As he comes across the line there, that is going to be an improvement. That'll bump him up to third.
Yeah, the pressure's off of him tonight, so he can really just enjoy himself and have fun here. But that'll at least, I think, put him at least on the front row of a heat race here, so he's still in good position.
Yeah, he's in good position as we watch the 45 of Jason Menda. Going to call that lap a quit and come down pit lane. I also see Glenn Townsend out there. Brennan Myers as well. He's going to be wanting to improve. He's only 10th fastest right now. He's going to bring that car on the high side. Looks like he's not quicker here on this lap for him. And indeed, he'll cross over the line. Not an improvement there for him. Chris Davis back out on track, seeing if there's anything he can make up. He's going to be opted for to go down to the low side here. Lots of drivers still trying to put those times in. Hunter Hill, Glenn Townsend as well. Chris Davis set a personal best through the first sector. Going to be an improvement for him, but it's not going to move him up from 6th place.
No, and you know what? He hasn't raced a few weeks here with us, so I don't know if he's been off iRacing altogether or whatnot. I'm going to assume so if he's been down in the Caribbean. But so he's got to get the rush shaken off. I'll bet you by the middle of the night tonight he'll be back on it.
Have to agree with you there on that as Hunter Hill comes and puts his first time down on the board. That'll be good enough for a 9th place position, as I believe that is all of your drivers at least getting one lap down. We only have about 45 seconds left here in qualifying. And I've got to think here, John, that the qualifying not nearly as important at some of the other places as we've run, necessarily like a weed sport or even a Lima Land last time out.
No, it's really not. But in the same token, you can get in the back and get up hung behind somebody. So if you still get a bad lap but you're quick, you're going to be behind guys that are faster or that you're faster than. And passing in this league, because of the talent level from top to bottom, is pretty high. Everybody is difficult to pass, no matter how fast you're going or whatever. So, there's still a little bit of a hindrance not getting the qualifying lap that you want. But this track, at least you have options to make up for it.
Exactly. As the clock ticks to 0 and the checkered flag flies for qualifying, we are ready for heat race number 1 here at Knoxville. And lining up in pole position, it's going to be the Different Path Motorsports driver, J.R. Shepard, still looking for his first victory in a Bootleg Racing League's dirt street stock race. William Hargraves, your championship winner, will be to his outside with Jeffrey Harden and Jason Menda behind them. Hunter Hill, Brendan Myers, and Kevin Nunn will round out your 7-car field. Some pretty good hitters here, and I've got to be looking at this battle for the front row. I think J.R. Shepard could be recognizing an opportunity to finally take that first victory.
Absolutely. I know JR well, and I can promise you he's wanting to, put that check in that box to get a win here. So he's in a good position to do that tonight. And he's starting out, though, with a heck of a heat race with Northcutt to his outside, Hargraves behind him, Segala is also in here. All three of those guys were really fast in qualifying. So JR is going to have to stand on it and not look back here to get the victory here in this heat.
Yeah, he certainly is. And the one thing to remember here is leader does have lane choice. So that will be a storyline that we follow over the course of the night where the drivers want to start out to try to get that optimal position. It looks like J.R. Shepard is going to be opting for the low line here. How do you feel about that, John?
That's exactly where I'd be. I think that's going to be, and even all the way through the feature, I think that's going to be the preferred line to start with. I think you can get a better launch down there with this longer straightaway. You can get a better launch and move up and then be able to dictate where you want to go in the corner. So I expect to see these guys on the bottom, choosing the bottom all the way through the night.
All right, well, you heard it here first. John Hine thinking that the low line is the way to go, and J.R. Shepard here certainly agreeing with him. Hunter Hill doing a little bit of weaving there in the background, just trying to warm up these dirt tires to get them ready. This will be a 6-lap heat race around the historic Knoxville circuit as we wait for that iRacing pace car to scamper off into pit lane, and there it goes. Waiting for the green, and there it is. It's a good start from J.R. Shepard. He's able to clear William Hargraves by about a car length as they dive down into the corner. That's going to be Shepard trying to hold on to the low line as they come around. A nice little defensive line holding off any attack from Hargraves, but Hargraves gets to his inside into 3.
Yeah, Hargraves gets that nose inside there. He's going to have that preferred line through 3 and 4, and watch the launch he's going to get coming off the bottom here and be able to nose ahead as they go into turn 1.
And that's 1 lap down here in the books. They're going to continue to go side by side. J.R. Shepard trying to hold a little bit of momentum. We're 3 wide in the back. That is Menda, Myers, and Hill, who all managed to keep everything nice and clean. Some great respectful racing there. That is back the battle for P4. But up front, we've got another little 3-car battle as Jeffrey Harden says, I'd like a little bit of piece of this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and just as we expected. I, thought this was going to be pretty competitive here tonight just because of this track. But I'll tell you, the one thing that's unusual about this track, DJ, watch when they come out of turn 4. Where is that flag stand on the front stretch? It's almost at the very end of the front stretch. It's not in the middle like most tracks. You got to go all the way down, almost into turn-in, right back there. That's where that start-finish line is. So not only do you got to have your position coming out of 4, but you got to hold it down that straightaway.
And we could see that come into play at the end of the heat races, or as we go into the feature with a little bit more of outside move momentum starting to come on. But meanwhile, up front, as we get ready to take the 2-to-go mark here, it looks like William Hargraves has control of the field, has a gap of about a car length over J.R. Shepard right now. 2 to go. We ride on board with Jeffrey Harden, who'd like to advance into that automatic transfer spot.
Yeah, he's just watching these two, and the track has got enough tack in it still where everybody's pretty much going the same speed. I mean, even Hargraves, who finally got around JR, isn't really running away that much. Tough sledding here if you're back in the pack, but it's going to get racier. I already see a pretty good slick line forming all the way through 1 and 2 there.
Ooh, a little bit of squirreliness there for J.R. Shepard on the white flag lap as we dive down now into 3 and 4. J.R. trying to hold off Jeffrey Harden in the best that he can. Harden looking for a little bit of a run as they come out of 4 right now. Up front, it is going to be William Hargraves. J.R. Shepard will take that P2 position. That's the automatic transfer. Harden, Myers, Menda, Hill, and Nunn will have to go back to the consies. There you can see that final finishing position there for all of them, and that's immediately going to lead us into our second heat race of the night. 6 cars ready to take to the track. It's going to be Billy Northcutt lining up in pole position, Joe Segala to his outside, the returning Chris Davis and John Wilson in row 2, with Robbie Robinson and Glenn Townsend making up the rest of your 6-car field. All drivers out on circuit right now, getting ready to get themselves going, and this is going to be another good one. I really love the speed here out of Joe Segala. We've seen some great improvements here out of the 81 over the course of over the course of the season. Great to see him up here in P2 in a heat race.
Absolutely. And funny, right as you were saying that, right before you got saying that, I was thinking, you just mentioned that JR had an opportunity in that first race. Joe's got one here, and Joe is always constantly improving. I'm amazed. I left BRL for a little while. I came back, and the difference just in his driving abilities are off the charts. But I also know that Joe puts the time in to practice, turn laps, actually cares about his racecraft, and that should be a lesson everybody should take away and follow his lead on that, because he has made significant gains and looks like he's going to contend here in this heat.
Yes, he is. I love to see that 81 up there. Looks like Billy Northcutt he's going to choose the outside lane. All right, so what advantage is that going to give him, if any, here, John?
I don't know if any. You can drive more straight coming out of the corner. I mean, he's going to he's going to have a little bit of advantage, I think, just because he's the control car, so he can nose ahead a little before he fires. But I'm telling you, I don't know that I'd come off that bottom, so we'll see here.
We'll see indeed. Going to be interesting to see how it plays out as the field forms up 2 by 2. Northcutt, Segala, Wilson, Davis, Townsend, and Hayes ready to get going here behind the iRacing pace truck as they work their way through 3 and 4. This will be the final heat race here tonight that we have. Waiting for Northcutt to release the field, waiting for the green flag to fly, and as they come out of 4, there goes the green. Great jump there for Billy Northcutt. He's already got a full car length clear as they dive down into turn 1. It's a little bit of side-by-side there in the back between John Wilson and Chris Davis. Davis slotting himself up ahead of Glenn Townsend. Good move there for him. He's going to try to challenge Wilson for 3rd.
Yeah, going back to that start, Northcutt was a whole car length ahead of Segala before they even fired. So, yeah, that's a good way to get an advantage. But what a battle we got back here for Chris Davis and John Wilson here.
Yeah, really starting to put the pressure on to Joe Segala here as they go. Wilson going to have a little bit more momentum there up on the high line as they come out of turn 2. He and Davis will be side by side, working their way down into turn 3. That's going to be Wilson up high, Davis down low. Segala choosing the middle line and holding that defensive stance in that final transfer spot.
Yeah, Joe's putting his car in a really good place. It's making it very difficult for Davis to get his nose under there and kind of root him out of the way. Every time they come out of the corner, Segala just separates himself a little bit, so he's getting a better run using that lane than what Davis is on the very bottom.
Davis, contact there between Chris Davis and Joe Segala, but both cars able to keep everything nice and easy together. They're going to run 1, 2, 3, going down into turn 1 now, and that's still going to be Segala leading, Davis leading Wilson. Robbie Robinson starting to get a little bit interested, though, as we ride on board with the Lone Star Racing number 7 driver.
He's looking for a way around right now, and Segala, like I said, has just got that car parked in the perfect position. It's not going to be any quicker to go around him, and getting under him is going to be really difficult too, because you got to put that back right in that slick, so you lose your drive off the corner. And right there, you see there's that separation again as that back tire of the number 7 gets in that slick on corner exit.
Oh, and the number 7 having to check himself up a little bit there, thinking about a slide job coming down through turn 4, but the white flag is in the air for Billy Northcutt, who is a full 1.2 seconds ahead of this battle. He is checked out and ready to go to the exit. As here comes Segala holding on. A little bit of side-by-side there in the back between Wilson and them, Wilson and Robinson as they go. Davis, one last look on Joe Segala, but Segala's going to hold onto the high line. Northcutt's going to cross over to take victory, and Joe Segala will advance on automatically into the feature. And unless my statistics are wrong, I believe that is the first automatic advancement we have seen out of the 81.
Yeah, he's got to be stoked about that. And I tell you, that was a heck of a battle right behind him, too. Robbie Robinson taking that 4th position there.
Yeah, great run, and there you can see those final finishing orders there for them. But that's going to lead us into the consolation race here, and this will determine the starting order for P5 on down in the A main. It's going to be Jeffrey Harden lining up in pole position with Chris Davis to his outside, Brennan Myers and Robbie Robinson making up row 2. Jason Menda lines up P3 with the Canadian John Wilson in P6. Hunter Hill will be 7th, followed by Glenn Townsend, and Kevin Nunn rounds out your 9-car field. All right, so John, we saw a little bit of argy-bargy starting to play itself out there, but some pretty clean racing across the board, everybody being good and respectable, but some fantastic battles across the board from what we've seen today.
Yeah, now this time we got more cars on the track, and I expect pretty much the same. Like I said, this is, for these cars, this track really promotes almost that pack racing, and we saw that from about second on back in that last heat race, and I expect it very much the same here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very similar. Very good action all the way around as they go, as we wait here for the B main to fire off. Now, this is going to be an 8-lap race. As before, no cautions getting thrown. Looks like here that we're going to have Harden and Davis starting flanking each other. That's going to be Harden opting for the high line again here, John.
Yeah, again, I think I would stick on the bottom here, but we'll see if Davis can keep up next to him. That last heat race, Joe, and I think Joe's on maybe on a single monitor or maybe even a triple, I don't know, but you got to stay with that guy, whoever's on your inside or outside. If you let them kind of walk out in front of you, you're going to, they get a huge advantage, and we saw it last one, so we'll see what happens here.
We will see indeed as Jeffrey Harden brings them to the green flag, and they are off racing here in the B main. Chris Davis with a great start there, able to pull ahead in a little bit of argy-bargy side-by-side door banging down through 1 and 2 as they go, but it's going to be Davis and Harden duking it out down the backstretch.
Yeah, that's not giving each other any quarter. You'd think a little shot back from Harden there. You'd think that they were running for the main event here, the way they're driving.
You certainly would, almost a little
bit.
Chris
Davis has damage on his left front.
Oh, yes, he does. Is that going to affect him a little bit? Harden
yes,
giving him a little bit of a hello there in the back. That's going to check up the rest of the field.
He's having a hard time keeping that car straight. I don't know if that was from the contact they made early on, but he's going to have to. And Davis is driving in his mirror now, just trying to keep those guys behind him.
Well, thus far, he's doing a good job. 2 laps here in the book. A little bit of a gaggle there in the back, led by Brendan Myers. That's Jason Menda and John Wilson trying to make up on the rest of the field as they go down the 45 there. Oh, I think that may have been a little bit of contact there with John Wilson. That's going to force him off and up into the gray here. And so that's going to put him down as we work on lap 4.
Yeah, they're almost nose to tail through the whole pack here.
Yes, they are. Some great action as they run. Robbie Robinson now starting to threaten a little bit on Jeffrey Harden for that second place position. That's going to be Robinson eking that number 56 to the outside, seeing if he can carry a little bit more momentum. Doesn't quite look like it's going to play out there for him as they dive down now into the corner. He's got to check himself up a little bit as Harden rode a very good defensive line before just cutting down to the inside there a little bit. Robinson now has to look for another way by. Doesn't dive down to the inside. He's going to keep pushing on that high line as they run now through the corner. Almost a little bit of contact there between Davis and Harden, but they're 1, 2, 3, 4 as now Brendan Myers has joined the party and he dives low.
Yeah, the laps are clicking off here, but that left front tire looks like it's kind of fixed itself, so I don't know what iRacing's got going on, but here comes Robbie Robinson to challenge that second position.
Oh, and contact there between Davis, he and Harden, and that is somehow Chris Davis able to hold on to that car miraculously, but now we go down into the corner as a complete gaggle trying to sort this thing out. Davis continues to lead. Harden checks up Robbie Robinson. That's going to be Brendan Myers holding down to the low side on the 25 as we get ready to come to the line for 1 to go.
Yeah, boy, Brendan, really that 25 car, man, he was very opportunistic there. Just took advantage of that and drove up, and more contact with the leaders here. And, Chris is going to have to be careful here. These guys are seeing how he's racing, and, That might make people be a little less shy about putting the bumper to him.
Indeed, as we come through the final corner, big slide there, big contact that's going to force Harden up the wall. Davis almost gets turned around. Brendan Myers somehow takes over the lead, and it's going to be a three-way race to the line. Oh my goodness! Hunter Hill able to take victory there over 0.02 of a second over Brendan Myers. Chris Davis rounding out your top three. Blink, and you would have missed that finish.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna guess it'd be interesting to be down there in that Discord channel with those guys. Making Chris isn't here to make friends tonight.
No, Chris Davis getting his elbows out, and we love to see it. As everything there, you can see those final finishing results. It looks like, I think that may have Davis being listed as the leader there. Not sure how that's going to sort itself out, but we will know in short time because, as we said, P5 all the way down through about 13 determined by that B main order. And so now, John, it's time for the 5-minute warm-up. A very crucial session here for these drivers to be able to go out and feel the track, feel how everything has changed, and that is such a crucial thing when it comes to dirt racing.
Yeah, and what's more important, not only feeling the track, but feeling what your car is going to do. You need to not just go out here and just click laps off running up at the top. If you're smart, you're going to try to get out on the bottom because you never know on a restart. You might be forced down there. You got to know exactly what your car is going to do, with that slick down there now. Pay attention to that stuff. Get down there, put it in different places. Even try a slider line to kind of gauge how much speed you're going to scrub off if you try to do that. There's a lot to be learned here, and it goes by quick. I'll tell you that 5 minutes really does go by quick when you're out on the track.
Yeah, it certainly does. Not a lot of time to try to get it, but this is exactly the kind of running that you want to have. This is Mendo Robinson and Ken Nunn. You want to get that practice running around the other cars. As we run into this full 40-lap feature event, you're going to be running in gaggles here all the way around it, so you want to try to figure out exactly how the car is going to feel when you've got that car to your inside, when you've got that car to the outside, how far up onto the cushion you can push.
Exactly right. And it'll actually still widen out quite a bit here for the features. So even though that you're practicing, you're right now, you've got to take into consideration that, things will change, and make sure you're watching the track as the feature progresses.
Yeah,
but,
go ahead, John.
I was going to say, but real quick, I do want to plug what BRL is doing the rest of the night. We are going to be running the midgets tonight at Lima in that Sprint Car Trail Series. And just want to give that a little bit of a plug and a little bit of love. And what we're doing is doing an old school USAC schedule. We're going to run asphalt one week, dirt another. We're going to use the Silver Crown car, the asphalt sprint car, the non-wing 360, and the midget. And I don't know if we're ready to announce it yet, but I'm just going to tell you, I think the finale for that series is going to be unbelievable what we're going to do.
And it's fantastic to see the BRL really putting that kind of in. Now, I know you and I have talked multiple times about how exciting that is, how great that is to be able to see that classic style of racing.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's going to be real interesting to see, if anybody, because here we see the same couple, 2-3 guys dominate week in and week out. You know who the guys are to beat when you show up for these street stock races. Well, those races, going from a Silver Crown to that asphalt sprint, dirt, asphalt, I got a feeling you're going to see different players at the front from a week-to-week basis. We've already run the Silver Crown cars and run the asphalt sprint cars, and man, you talk about it, just a complete 180 on what's going on in the track, and I can't wait to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, and John, if you're interested in joining up with that series, how does somebody do that?
Just go to the bootlegRacingSeries.com and check them out, and you can go down and hit join now. And I do encourage you to look at the car numbers, but come on out. Over the summer we are testing it, so if it's something that you think you may be interested in, you don't know, well, come register, run a few races, and see what you think. The summer, it's open for everybody. The actual points season doesn't start until the fall, a little bit later. Once the tracks and whatnot, start closing down, so we can make it more accessible to people. But over the summer here, come on out, bootlegracing.com. and BootlegRacingLeague.com, I guess I should say. Come on out and join, and it should be a lot of fun.
Should be indeed, and I can tell you that there's a certain commentator that may have that may show up on track a few times. So I'm looking forward to jumping in, maybe having a little bit of fun, and well,
I can't wait to see you out there.
Well, I'll show the rest of the Bootleg Racing League the reason why I'm up in the commentary booth and not on the track with y'all.
Well, hey, I'm up here with you, and I'm going to be out there, so maybe we can vie for the best of the rest, towards the back.
Maybe we can indeed, but enough talking about us and our racing progress. It is time to get going here for the A main event. 40 laps around this historic speedway. It's going to be William Hargraves, your champion, lining up in pole position with his Dirt Panda Racing teammate Billy Northcutt to his outside. J.R. Shepard will be lining up in P3, followed by Joe Segala, with Chris Davis and Hunter Hill 5th and 6th. Brendan Myers will be 7th, followed by Jason Menda in 8th, with Glenn Townsend 9th, Robbie Robinson 10th, Jeffrey Harden and John Wilson making up row 6, and then Kevin Nunn bringing up the back of the field here tonight. And John, we're putting more cars out on track. That means obviously we're going to get a little bit more wear as it goes along, a little more chances for that argy-bargy, but I think at the same time, this is going to be some fantastic racing. We've seen already just how racy this Knoxville Raceway can be.
Yeah, and I'm going to have my eyes on that second row. I really hope to see that second row. Either one of those guys do really well here tonight. But yeah, we've already seen a couple guys not shy about using that bumper here, so hold on, this should be fun.
It should be fun indeed to be able to see how everything plays itself out. Working their way around, saluting the stands as they go. Looks like Hargraves is going to be opting for that low line. John, we got a lap before we go green. It's prediction time. Who do you have your eye on?
Well, real quick, speaking of people not afraid to use their bumpers, Chris Davis was given a heat EOL, so he's going to start shotgun on this field. That should be interesting, but well, I tell you, that front row is just pretty stout. And I'm going to just say, they'll pick the low-hanging fruit here and say Hargraves. He's got no worries here. He can just let it fly.
Well, we'll have to see. I'm personally cheering for number 98, J.R. Shepard. I want to see him break the duck here today, but we can't worry about predictions because we get ready to go racing here at Knoxville, waiting for Barney the flag man. And there goes the green. We are racing at Knoxville Raceway. It's a brilliant start from William Hargraves. He is already clear of his teammate Billy Northcutt as they dive down into the first corner. It's Noah's Ark for the rest of the field as they come around here, trying to get some good moves on the outside. There is Joe Segala working on Brennan Myers right there. Almost banging towards going down into 3.
Yeah, that inside groove definitely was the way to go on this one. That whole inside line moved up almost a spot. Everybody moved up a spot on that, but now right up to the top now, most everybody is above the slick going through 1 and 2.
Brendan Myers trying to make it work down on the low side, but he's going to find a little bit of company in the form of the number 12 of Hunter Hill, who's going to try to press him a little bit as they go, working their way down through the corner. Menda and the 23 of Townsend trying to see if they can find their way by as well. I've got to say here, Brendan Myers needs to get back up to the high side, and he just does it there. That's going to be able to blunt a little bit of that momentum.
Yeah, well, being on the high side there, you can really keep your momentum up in these cars, keep the RPMs up, allows you to get around this track just a little bit quicker. But I'm going to say it's not going to be long. I think people could probably make that bottom go, not here before too long as that track continues to widen out.
And they certainly could. Jeffrey Harden making some good positions up through the field. He's already up 4 spots, so a good run there for the 36. We'll have to see how much farther he can go. Almost a little bit of contact there on the back, but we continue to follow Joe Segala right now. Hunter Hill right behind him. Brendan Myers thought about a little bit of a poke to the inside, but not going to go for it. Your top 3 remain Hargraves, Northcutt, and Shepard.
Yeah, the top 3 have checked out a little bit, but man, from about 5th place on back, it's a knife fight.
Yeah, it certainly is. This battle positively electric here. Brendan Myers working down to the inside of Hunter Hill. He's going to try to throw that low line. Has to catch the car a little bit. The slide job not going to work. Not able to carry too much momentum through the corner. But I think he may have a little bit of a run. Momentum coming back to Hunter Hill, though, as they cross over the start-finish stripe. Myers going to keep working that low line the best that he can.
Yeah, he's hanging on down there. And like I said, it wouldn't surprise me to see that become more and more viable as the track widens out. Now I'm seeing Robbie Robinson down there. I've seen Davis down there. I even saw the leader poke down there towards the bottom. So it's coming where the guys probably may migrate down there.
Yes, it might. A little bit of single file starting to play itself out. Hunter Hill throwing a big old slide job on Joe Segala. Segala recognizes it, able to get the crossover, and they're going to be side-by-side crossing over. Big sideways moment there in the back from Jason Menda, but he's able to gather that 45 up underneath him.
And Segala returns the favor on Hill, gets a slide job, another crossover, and right behind these guys, man, they're doing the same thing. This is incredible to watch.
It certainly is. A little bit of a blink there from Hunter Hill as we watch Brendan Myers trying to work onto the back of Jeffrey Harden, who has now been able to move up 5 positions up into 6th place right now as that starts to sort itself out a little bit. Chris Hill, the latest, to try to get a little bit of a work on Brendan Myers. Oh, contact there as they go through the corner. A little bit of a how you do as they exit out of 4, but both drivers have to keep things pointed the right way.
Another shot, kind of using that right rear is kind of a little bit of a mechanism to move Saz out of the way. But man, that bottom, there's half the field's now running that middle to bottom, and the other half are up top now.
Oh, Joe Segala had to check himself up big on that momentum line, trying to come around Hunter Hill there, but he's now going to send down to the inside, looking at a little bit of a slider, but he doesn't quite have the momentum. He's going to have to check himself up. Got to be careful there. Jeffrey Harden, the hard charger of the race, definitely starting to lurk there behind as we cross over 10 laps in the books.
That means we got a long way to go, and these guys, by the end of this, their tongues are going to be hanging out and falling out of their seats.
Yeah, they certainly are as this battle continues to rage on. Up front, William Hargraves and Billy Northcutt relatively close together, but nothing happening there. We'll let you know when that really starts to fire itself off. Segala now to the inside of Hunter Hill. Is that slide job imminent? He's going to think about it. He's going to work on it. He's going to get it. He's going to do it. And a nice little block in there from behind from Jeffrey Harden. That's going to prevent a crossover from Hunter Hill. But now Hunter Hill wants to be able to return the favor. He tries to throw a slider. Is that going to have enough crossover? Thinks about it, waits for it, and now Segala on the fight back.
Yeah, and look on the very bottom, that number 7 is making up ground through the field after getting that heat EOL.
Yes, he is. Chris Davis already up into P6 right now ahead of Jeffrey Harden, now trying to work on Joe Segala. They fly their way through the middle line of turn 2 right now. There is the battle for the lead as it starts to spice itself up a little bit. That's going to be Hargraves down to the low line, throwing a slider. Billy Northcutt making a little bit of contact there with the outside wall, but they're in the back. They continue to be very, very electric. Joe Segala, gets a little bit cross-eyed coming out of the corner. Is that going to prevent or open up an opportunity there for Chris Davis to be able to get a position?
3 wide now in the middle of the corner here as Harden gets to the bottom of Davis, and he's returning the favor a little bit, gets into him a little bit, falls back now as they head into 3.
Yes, he does. We've got to jump you back up to the lead of this field, though, because it looks like Billy Northcutt has been able to get a little bit of a move done as they crossed over the stripe. It was Northcutt that was able to have the momentum. Good, respectful driving here among Dirt Panda teammates, but it is absolutely electric. Northcutt to the high side, Hargraves down low.
Boy, Hargraves is really making that bottom go. He's the early part of the corner. He's able to really gap the 0 there, but boy, on the corner exit, that momentum kicks in for the high side with those higher RPMs, and just kind of they're yo-yoing as they go around the track. One moment, one has an advantage, the next the other does.
Yes, they do. It looks like the advantage right now is going to Billy Northcutt as they come off the line, but he's getting very high up into the grade, trying to use every single little bit of banking here that he can at Knoxville. They cross the line, 16 laps in the books. It's going to be advantage just barely to Billy Northcutt.
Absolutely, and Northcutt once again just able to use that momentum every time out of that corner. This track is going to continue to widen out. If they start to get this a little slick up there where he's got to start pedaling it to keep it out of the wall, that's going to be advantage Hargraves. So we're only just barely past halfway. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see that happen here before the end.
I wouldn't either, and we're going to have to see how it plays out as they continue to duke it out. Looks like a little bit more of an advantage. That's the best run we've seen have thus far for Billy Northcutt. He just about was able to clear William Hargraves as they went down into the corner. They've got a big, big gap over J.R. Shepard to the tune of about 1.7 seconds. Momentum coming back to Northcutt. And as we get into the second half of this race here, John, what you talked about, just how late the start-finish line is here, that's going to favor the high line coming out of 4 on that last lap.
100% it is. You get that run, and yeah, you got a long way to make that pass, get by. But now Northcutt is really taking control of the race, though.
Yes, he is. We jump you back here into the gaggle that is the mid-pack right now. That is Joe Segala holding off right now in 6th. Robbie Robinson and Jeffrey Harden behind him. And that's going to be Jason Menda trying to look for a little bit of something. Chris Davis having a little bit of a bad run. That could open up the door for the 81.
Yeah, these guys have all calmed down just a little bit, probably to catch their breath, but you watch. We got a long way to go here. They'll get back at it.
I'm certain that they will run single file right now across the line as they go. That's going to be Robinson trying to throw a little bit of a slider there. Davis up front holding that high side quite well. There is your leader, Billy Northcutt, and there is a slider from his teammate, William Hargraves. He's got to check himself up, though, not quite able to get it to run. Go ahead, John.
I was going to say, yeah, you wouldn't think they're teammates the way they're going at each other up here, but man, they're good racing, though.
Yes, they are, and Hargraves now the one going up to the high side as Billy Northcutt is the one to throw the slider. We are working on lap 22, about to be 23, so we are over the halfway mark, and knock on your favorite bit of wood. We have not had a caution out here yet today, so continue to be good, clean racing with just a little bit of argy-bargy that you do expect from some good, fun dirt racing, John.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you, the two teammates up front, whenever Steven Spees and I are in a race, or any of the other Gambler Motorsports guys, man, I want to beat them more than anybody on the track. And Steven especially, I'll race him harder than anybody else that I race. So, and he does the same to me. So it can be a lot of fun racing your teammate. And you got to be careful, though. We've had contact more than one time just racing so hard. So these guys are doing a good job right now.
Yeah, doing a fantastic job. There's Jeffrey Harden looking a little bit squirrely. That's partially because of contact with Joe Segala a little bit earlier on. Segala now trying to throw a little bit of a slider on Robbie Robinson up ahead of him to try to take that 6th place position. Not able to get the full clearance that he would like, but they're going to be in a straight drag race as they cross over the start-finish line to start working on lap 25. Momentum going to favor Robbie Robinson as they come out of turn 2 right now. Looking down to the inside. Who's it going to be as they go? Oh, big slider there from Menda into the side of Harden. Harden somehow able to collect it. I don't know how he kept the thing.
Yeah, he just, it's like he got shot out of a gun going into the corner, and I think he, probably about halfway into that corner, you realize, uh-oh, I'm in trouble here.
Yes, he did, and two drivers that almost got into a little bit of trouble right there. Robbie Robinson and Joe Segala continuing on their battle right now. That's Segala in the 81 down to the low side, trying to keep it going. Momentum going to favor a little bit of Robbie Robinson as they cross over the line, but Segala doing a good job to try to pinch him up as much as possible, prevent him from really diamonding off that corner.
Yeah, side by side, they've been this way now for the last couple, 2-3 laps, and Segala's going for a slide job right now. Looks like he's got it.
It does indeed look like he's got it for the time being, but Robbie Robinson says, I'm going to try to fight back on you with a little bit of a crossover. Maybe here comes the slider from Robbie. He starts down low, slowly works that way up high, and who's that coming in from behind? That's Glenn Townsend in the 23, as well as Joe Segala here that we ride on board with. A slow Chris Davis checks up the momentum.
Oh, he broke his car. He can't turn the car. He hits the wall again going into 3. Looks like he grabbed the wall over in 1 and 2.
And it looks like he's going to be coming down pit lane here if I can see things right. But Glenn Townsend now on a great charge here. He is up 3 positions already by Joe Segala, trying to challenge and see what he can get on Robbie Robinson. Not exactly going to play it out here. John Wilson sitting back in the popcorn position.
Yeah, we're coming around now. We're going to be getting down to it, about 10 to go or so. And pit windows, or the pay window's open. It's time to go.
Yes, it is indeed, and we are at the point that if a caution were to fly, it would be a single file restart here at Knoxville Raceway. Segala working behind, trying to close, as we've got to focus in on the battle for the lead, though, right now, because these two teammates are separated by less than 1/10 of a second as they dive down into the corner. That's going to be Northcutt again, working on the high line. Hargraves trying to throw a little bit of a slider. Oh, a little bit of how you do there, front-to-back contact.
Those 3 are really racing hard. And that 23 has got to be real careful there, Townsend, to keep it off that wall there. We saw the 7 there of Davis get into that wall, and next thing you know, he had to make a trip to pit road. So he's got to be careful there. He's grabbing it big time there.
Yes, he is, as we come around the line here, working onto the back stretch, coming to the line with 8 laps to go. There you see that spread out. Northcutt just trying to see what he can get over his teammate. Jumping back into the gaggle in the back there. That's Brendan Myers trying to close down on Jeffrey Harden. Jason Menda down to their inside. As there they run Joe Segala holding off Glenn Townsend, who's had a very, very good run here. As he looks like there, Segala losing a little bit of touch with Robbie Robinson directly up ahead of him, but I think that's going to be okay for now. But Townsend looking with a great run here down to the inside of the 23. Segala going to be working low. Townsend flirting with that berm, trying to see what he can get.
Yeah, it looks like he's able to be pretty even with Segala, but he's going to go back to the top side here, and he's going to hit that wall again. Well, these times that's going to bite him, but he keeps doing that.
Ooh, it almost bit him there as he got very, very squirrely coming off the line. I think that's actually going to open up an opportunity there for John Wilson to be able to try to get on by him as the leaders come through turn 2 with 6 laps to go. Segala just trying to hold on here. He'd love to get past Robbie Robinson, get a 5th place position if he can.
Top 5 to end your season. That's a good way to end this season. Be up there in contention like that. Nice top 5. It gives you a little bit of momentum going into the next year.
Yes, it does, and that momentum that you want to build on is exactly the kind of thing you want to see. But we've only got 5 laps to go here at Knoxville Raceway as everything continues to be very, very close across the field, specifically for your leaders as they're trading a little bit of slide jobs right now, and that's going to be Billy Northcutt with a great crossover. He's going to lead the lap here with 4 to go.
Boy, he got a lot of that berm going into that corner there, and that's going to really kill his momentum off in here. Yeah, you see the 71. Hargrave's able to really take advantage of that.
Yes, he is. Northcutt going to go back up to the high side here again, carry that momentum the best that he can. That's going to be Hargraves trying to challenge him off there a little bit as they go. Advantage, though, to Billy Northcutt. 3 laps to go at the line. Tries to cut him off there, but Northcutt still has the momentum. It looks like that high line, the way to be here if you're in the 00.
Yeah, I mean, Hargraves keeps beating him to about the center of the corner. And Northcutt gets into the wall here. But boy, that momentum off the top, that is such an advantage right now.
Yes, it is, and now it's going to be Hargraves trying to follow that back around as they go too wide, down into the corner with only 2 laps to go. Hargraves trying to get the advantage, trying to get the push, trying to get the momentum, seeing what he can do. He's going to look a little bit down to the inside, nothing going to be doing there. They come to the white flag here for Barney the Flagman as William Hargraves looks to the inside. We keep our eyes focused here on the battle for the lead as both drivers stick up high, driving it around the best they can. Hargraves trying to diamond off the corner a little bit. Northcutt holding onto the high line. It's not going to look like it's going to work there for Hargraves. Hargraves dives low. Here comes the final slider of the night. Is he going to have enough crossover? He's got to check himself up. That's not going to work there, and that is going to be victory for the 00 of Billy Northcutt. But for the season, it's going to be the championship for William Hargraves.
Good night for Dirt Panda. They get the win and the championship here tonight.
Indeed, they do. A little bit of argy-bargy as they come back across the line, but a great night indeed for the Dirt Panda Racing team. As you said, John, they have got to be absolutely tickled pink to be able to get that run as they went. Drivers going to come on in here to do a little bit of celebration, pull themselves onto victory lane, and the 2 Dirt Panda teammates absolutely dominant. A final victory of over 4.5 seconds over J.R. Shepard in third. There are your final race results. It was Billy Northcutt leading William Hargraves to the line. J.R. Shepard rounding out your podium positions. Hunter Hill with a quiet race there back in fourth, but a good one nonetheless. And Robbie Robinson able to hold off the fierce attack of Joe Segala to round out your top 5. Behind Segala, it was Wilson, Hardin, Myers, and Townsend who fell back a little bit there, rounding out your top 10. Everybody else having a little bit of a rough day out there. Jason Menda, Chris Davis, and Kevin Nunn. And I gotta tell you right now, that was an absolutely electric race. And the man I am very much looking forward to talking to is here in the booth with us, Billy Northcutt. Billy, that looked like just an absolute blast of a race between you and your teammate, William Hargraves.
Dude, you'd have no idea. I think that might be my favorite race I've ever had on this game in the years that I've had it. That's what can happen when you have guys that just actually love and care about each other in real life, with a big lead to where you can really just have some fun and leave each other room and bounce the wall a couple times and just leave it all out there. I mean, it felt like William already had the championship kind of wrapped up with Brandon not being here tonight, and I pretty much was locked in behind him, and so I was like, let's just go and have the most fun we've ever had on here, and that was pretty awesome.
I mean, it was absolutely spectacular to be able to watch you guys doing it. And I've got to ask you, I mean, how much were you talking with each other over the course of that? Or was that all just trusting your teammates to be able to run it well?
Oh, that was, we never said a word the whole race, both of us. We were just locked in and going for it. I mean, and it's pretty crazy because I'm pretty sure we never even really touched unless we got into the back of another one while we were going into a turn or something. So it was like we were with it. You could have barely put a piece of paper between us a bunch of different times, and we both backed off when we needed to and just made that the most fun. And I mean, put on a clinic on how these races can be ran. You know, I mean, that was really fun.
I couldn't agree more, man. I mean, that was exactly what we want to see here. And I've got to ask you, looking forward to next season as we dive on in to preparations for that. Are you looking forward to the new tracks that have been added? Do you have a little bit of championship aspirations? What do we have in store for the 00 next time out?
Oh, shoot. You know me. I mainly just try to get out here and have some fun. I mean, I won 3 races this season, and I usually am hoping for just to get one win throughout the whole season, and if I do, that's fine, and if I don't, I mean, I'm not really upset or anything, but my only goal each season is to at least try to pick up one win, and to get 3 here and have William win the championship, I couldn't ask for anything better than that. So next season, if it's the same, I would be ecstatic. If I don't win it all next season, I'm not really that concerned. I mean, this race was worth having a DNF about 5 in a row after it. It was that fun. So I'm not too concerned. Port Royal came out. I haven't got on it yet. So I'm not sure what it would be like on the game for these guys. But pretty much any track at this point, we can at least get out there and give it hell and see what we can do. So the main thing is just having fun and the guys you're racing with, not the track that you're on.
Well, that's what we love to see. That's why we love covering the series, Billy. But as for today, anybody you want to thank for this victory?
100%. I want to thank you guys and Lowell for putting these on. That race would have never happened if it wasn't for him and for you guys and the guys that keep showing up and running this thing. We've kept just enough cars really to keep it competitive and keep it fun and keep it going. So thanks to every single person that comes out. Every single car is important in a league like this. The car counts, if they fall pretty low, people can shut them down real quick. So I mean, we've been on that border a couple of times, but we had a huge crowd, and that wasn't really great either. So we found a sweet spot there where everybody races clean and has fun. So I appreciate every single one of them that's been there this season, and thanks to my family and friends that watch and my Dirt Panda teammates, especially Will. I mean, there was about 100 different times in that race that he could have slid in front of me or bumped me or whatever, and it wasn't worth it. We were just having fun. So I appreciate having teammates like that. There aren't a ton of those guys out here, and to have one as a teammate of mine is an honor.
Well, we love it, my friend, and thank you so much for a great season, and congratulations here again on a great win.
Thank you.
All right, well, that was Billy Northcutt, your first-place finisher here today. And, John, I believe you have caught up with our second-place finisher and newly crowned champion, William Hargraves.
Hey, champ, this is John. You got a copy?
Yeah, John, I got you.
Well, first, before I start anything, congratulations on a well-deserved championship this season. Tell me how that feels now.
Man, it's been a long time coming for sure. Brandon, he's one tough cookie to beat, and he's definitely proved he's a top dog. So I know I'm happy for sure. To be able to beat him is a task in itself.
Absolutely. If you beat him in a championship, you've earned your wings, so to speak. But now take me to the battle today. I mean, Northcutt was just in here just raving how much fun that was, and I got a feeling that was just as much fun from you. Walk me through all the slide jobs and all the different things. What more did you need to maybe grab that victory?
Man, I needed about 5 more laps, I think. No, I don't know. Like Billy said, that was so much fun when you can go out there and race that hard like that and know when you got to cut somebody over or lift just a little bit for them or however it works out. The track was, you guys seen it, it was pretty much fast everywhere. When you get racing like that, them lines come into play, and from where I was at lap number, it didn't work out in my favor to be able to win at that time, but I had so much fun even just finishing second. I gave it everything I had, I know that.
Well, the thing that he had the advantage was on the outside, that start-finish line being all the way at the end of that straightaway there. Did that ever enter your mind about maybe trying to set him up to where you could beat him to that line, or was your strategy just to try to get ahead of him and then just control the whole lap?
When we took the white flag, I went in high with him and tried to get as much of a run on him as I could to try to be able to set him up or do something there on the last corner, but I just didn't get enough. He had too much of that cushion and nailed it too good to be able to do anything with him really. So it was basically over, but you got to try to send it as much as you can. I did it, and that top line, like you said, it prevailed for him up there, and he won it. But congrats to Billy for sure. Like I said, that was a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a good night for Dirt Panda, a win and a championship here. I guess the last question I'm going to have for you, are we going to maybe see you guys run that USAC deal, come out and run the dirt sprints and dirt midget?
I haven't put much thought into it yet, but it might be something I got to do. It's always a lot of fun in here each and every week. I don't see why that wouldn't be fun too. So we might give it a shot.
Oh, man, I hope we see you on over there. Well, congratulations again. Anybody you'd like to give a shout-out to?
Yeah, I'd like to start off by thanking you guys in Luell for sure for putting this all on for us guys to come out and race every week. Without you guys, this don't happen. All the sponsors that allow this to happen as well. I got to thank all my Dirt Panda Racing teammates. We put a lot of hard work in. Not so much. We're starting to put more in now than we were. We were kind of on a little break, I guess you could say, for the most part. But we're starting to race a little more and whatnot. I got to thank Viv's Retail Liquor, Melm Electric Autosales.com, and just everybody that races week in and week out, and everybody that watches and is a part of this.
Well, congratulations on your championship. Nice runner-up to finish up the season. We hope to see you on the track next season in the street stocks. I hope to see you in the sprints too also. So have a good weekend, William, and we'll talk at you down the road.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
William Hargraves, our champion for this spring season here. DJ?
Indeed, and we've got one more interview to round out the night. We are joined by third-place driver and sometimes commentator J.R. Shepard. JR, it's great to see you back on the podium here on the Dirt Street Stock side.
Yeah, thanks, DJ. It's a pretty quiet race for me. I just don't have the pace to keep up with those guys. But, yeah, it was nice to have some speed, at least in the short run tonight. A lot of fun.
Well, looking back to the heat races, you were slicing and dicing it up there pretty well. Were you coming in thinking that you were going to have the pace to keep up, or was that a little bit of a surprise?
No, I usually have a decent pace on short run at this track. I've just never been able to carry it throughout a whole run, and these guys are really good about moving around and trying to find that speed, and I'm just not able to do it. But yeah, it was a little bit surprising, definitely, to be able to set fast time in qualifying.
Well, you gotta love that, my friend. And I guess looking forward to next season. Obviously, Port Royal coming onto the service. Anything you're particularly looking forward to, or just gonna have another good run here, another good season?
Just trying to continue to learn from these guys. They're some of the best that run on dirt, and their racecraft is just extremely crazy good. So just trying to keep up with them enough that you can learn from them and make little adjustments to what you're doing to get better each and every time. And that's all you can do. And yeah, this is it's been an enjoyment racing on the dirt with those guys and trying to learn and just get a little bit better each and every week. So we'll try to continue that next season.
Well, my friend, I wish you all the best luck in the world, and I've got no doubts in my mind that we'll be able to see you up on a podium again. Anybody you'd like to thank for this run here tonight?
Yeah, just thanks to the Bootleg Racing League for putting this on Friday nights. To you guys at the Virtual Grip Network, being able to commentate a little bit once in a while myself, I got a big respect for everything that you guys do and for making us look good. So appreciate that. And thanks to my team, Different Path Motorsports, and we'll go to next season and try to do a little bit better.
We wish you all the luck in the world, JR. Thanks for joining us here tonight.
Yep, thank you guys.
All right, well, that was J.R. Shepard, your third-place finisher. And, folks, that's about going to wrap things up for us here. But on behalf of John Hine, Mike Yao, and the rest of us here at VGN, we would like to thank you for joining us here at the virtual Knoxville Raceway. The next race for the Dirt Street Stock Series is going to be next week, Friday, June 17th, as we kick off a new series at Eldora at the same time, 7:10 p.m. Eastern Time. The next race here on the channel, well, that's going to be tomorrow night, June 11th, as the BRL Super Late Model Series heads to Myrtle Beach at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back for that race at Eldora. This has been a production of the Virtual Grip Network. Until we see you on the track, thanks for watching.